and just waiting for cars to get lined up out there. There is your qualifying order for this first round. Looks like we're going to have Eric Steele, Brian Rogers on the front row, Eric Pomasco and Jeff Ramsdale in the second row, Cam Curtis and Braden on the third row, Tony Quadros and James Seagroves DeCourcy in fourth, and Kyle Buck is back there by himself on the fifth row. Looks like Tony is going a little bit slow at the moment, trying to catch back up to the field. As we watch down from the blimp here. Waiting on the pace car to duck off. Now there is something we noticed, especially when the ex-Cowboys were here last week. One of the things that we noticed, they get down on that that apron on the turn in the turns is actually a little bit elevated, so that can cause some issues if you get down too low into turns 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. You get down too low, you hit that apron, and you can go for a bit of a ride here. And looks like we got one spinning. It looks like that was Cam in the number 7 car. Just got a little bit of a tap going through there and got turned around a little bit. That brings us under our first caution of the night. Tony Quadros trying to make his way up. He started way in the back in this heat, and he is just trying to make his way back up to the front. We are under caution for the first time tonight. Eric Steele currently in the lead. Rogers second. Pomasco third. Ramsdale is fourth. DeCourcy looks like he's going to move to about 5th place here. And seeing Ramsdale up there in the 07 car, that's a great start to the night for him. He's had some rough races earlier in the season. He's started making his way back up through the field, though. Up to 7th in points and just 5 points out of 6th. So, and only 15 points out of 5th. So he still has a chance to get up there and get a top 5 in points. Don't know if he can make it all the way to the front, but we'll find out. All right, as they line up, it looks like we are going to get 1 to green here. Yep, lights are off on the pace car. The 32 and the 12 will lead them down. Green flag is in the air, and the 12 gets a good jump on that restart into turn 1. But the 32 is fighting back on the inside. Eric Steele is not giving up easily as they come around. They're going to get 5 laps to go, I do believe. Yes. And the 471, Eric Pomasco, sitting right there, just going to try and hold on to that low line, see if he can pick up second from the 32 or from the 12 car, excuse me. Meanwhile, we've got 3 cars sitting right there at the back of the group. They're just kind of hanging out at the moment. Doesn't look like they are pushing it too hard. Nah, I spoke too soon. It looks like Cupcake might have gotten turned there. That brings us under caution again. Let's see if we can see what happened. Yeah, we just missed. See if we can. It looks like the 7 car just got in there way too deep, got up under the 74, managed to help him get straightened out, and it looked like he actually was kind enough to slide back and let Cupcake have his position back. Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Eric Steele and Brian Rogers Jr. leading the field around. And if you hadn't noticed, we've got a new pace car now. iRacing put out a new pace car this week. They call it the Sedan. And it's got aspects of just about every vehicle that is in iRacing. There's looks like a BMW rear deck lid, and the nose looks, gosh, I can't remember what we said last night. And it's got some Ferrari-style air vents down low on the front. We'll try and get a closer look at it here in a little bit. Let's see if we can, there we go. So several different elements from, as I said, several different manufacturers. Just a really cool, neat feature they put out this season. All right, pace car should be diving in. We'll have 3 laps to go. And single file restart this time. Here they go, green flag racing. And the 32 gets a good jump this time on the restart. The 12 has nothing for him right now. As they come down to 2 laps to go, the 32 continues to open up his lead just a little bit. And we've got a big wreck right behind him. Caution is out again. See if we can see what happened here. 471 and Tony Quadro. Oh, no, it looks like the 471 and the 07 of Ramsdale got together there through the turn, and I imagine we're going to see a bit of that tonight before it's all said and done. Eric Steele continues to lead the way around the field. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're trying something new this week. Glad you guys like it. Hopefully, we might have a few bugs to work through tonight, but went okay last night, and hopefully it'll continue to improve. Tonight's definitely a good night to try it with 3 different races going on. And if you have a favorite driver, as always, drop their name into the chat. We'll try and take a look at them, and when it comes time to ride along with them, we might ride along with somebody. We might hop in the car with them. You never know. Pace car should be coming off this time by. Eric Steele, Brian Rogers Jr., and looks like Tony Quadro started in 8th. He's all the way up to 3rd now. James Seagrove's DeCourcy has recovered from that earlier incident. He is now back up into 5th. Eric Pomasco back to 6th. Jeffrey Ramsdell is back to 7th at the moment. Pace car staying out one more lap. A little bit peculiar, but the lights are off now. Might have had a scoring issue there that kept them out for a little bit, kept him out a little bit longer, but the lights are off now. Pace car dives in. Eric Steele's going to lead them down. Green flag in the air. Here they go. 2 laps to go in the first heat. And Eric Steele is just checking out here. There is a battle right behind him, though. Tony Quadros and Braden Moyer battling for 3rd. Looks like Braden's going to take the position. That's going to leave Tony Quadros on the high side on the final lap. Cupcake cannot get to him, though. Doesn't look like it. Quadros is making a move back. Eric Steele wins it. Brian Rogers comes home 2nd. Braden comes home 3rd. Tony Quadros 4th. And Cupcake is 5th. And on to the next heat. There's a little bit better look at that new pace car. I'm not even going to comment on that one, Tommy. All right, pace car rolls off. We've got Drew Davis, Thomas Johnson, Paul McCobrey, Daniel Sweeney, Dean Webb, and Dana Shepard, Ryan Courier, and Kyle Streeter. Let's see if we can pull the grid back up here for you. There is your starting order. And here's the information for tonight. The temperature, and obviously a little cloudy, but overall a great night for racing. Should see the pace car duck off this time by. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air, and the 58 leads them down into turn number 1. That is one of the fan favorites, Thomas Johnson. There's Thomas. The 22's got his hands full right now. The 31 of Daniel Sweeney is down to the inside. Looks like he might take 2nd place as they go off into turn 3. Now the fastest line around here is the low line, but as we saw last week in the XCal race, those guys, once that outside line got warmed up a little bit, that outside line started getting hooked up, and we actually saw some passes up there to the outside. I'd imagine later in the race we're going to see a little bit of that. Meanwhile, Thomas Johnson has just checked out. Daniel Sweeney's a bit back from him. Thomas Johnson still continues to. It looks like the 37 had some trouble there early. Kyle Streeter is way off the back right now. As you can see there's not a huge gap between Daniel Sweeney and Thomas Johnson, but enough. Thomas Johnson's got about 4/10 on him, and Drew's got another couple of tenths back behind him. So couple of gaps starting to open up on track, and it looks like there's a little bit of a battle going on right behind these guys. As we start the final lap, they are still battling side by side here at the back of the field. This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th Thomas Johnson's going to pull home the heat number 2 win. Daniel Sweeney comes home second, Drew Davis third, Dean Webb fourth, Paul McCobrey in the 87 is fifth, Ryan Courier is sixth, Dana Shepard, Kyle Streeter, and David Greenslet. Now they're going to go into their 2-minute warm-up. Looks like Randy Phillips is going to be the first one out on track. There is our points leader, Randy Phillips, in the 19. And one of the things we mentioned earlier, let's ride along with Randy here for a second. You can see that the inside, as he goes through the turns, the inside down there right below where his tires are, that is elevated. We saw it a couple times last week. You catch that little bit of a rise there, and you can go around or you can get sent up into the wall. So that can make things very, very tricky for a lot of these drivers here. Now you see they're leaving a tire width there, and it also makes getting on and off pit road in a green flag situation tricky. Shouldn't be too big of an issue here tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. These guys, no need for pit stops unless they're going in for a manual repair. Currently fastest one on track right now is the 87 car, Paul McCobrey. Randy Phillips is second, Kyle Buck third, Drew Davis fourth, and Jason Pelkey fifth fastest at the moment. And then we said something, the 87 ends up sliding up into the wall there, but he manages to hang on to it. Kevin Cormier has picked up the pace as well in that 14 car. He's now up to the second fastest. See if we can take a look at his lap times here. Looks like him and McCobrey are just switching who's where. All right, time to line them up for green flag racing. All right, here's your lineup with Eric Laurendeau on the front row, Randy Phillips, then Nathan Wenzel and Kevin, then Jason Pelkey and Eric Steele, Thomas Johnson, Brian Rogers, then you got Daniel Sweeney and Braden back in 10th, then 11th is Drew Davis, 12th is Tony Quadros. Going through the rest of the field, having a look manually here, it looks like you got Dean Webb back in 13th. 14th is Cupcake. 15th is Paul McCobrey. Then Eric Pamasco, Ryan Courier, Jeffrey Ramsdale, Dana Shepard, Cam Curtis, Kyle Streeter, Kyle Buck, and David Greenslet round out the field. Looks like a couple of cars, Dean Webb might have gotten into something there on the as they got going. Kyle Streeter is throwing an alert of some kind as well. We'll have to look here in a bit and see. Could just be spinning the tires as they tried to get up off the track, and oh my. Houston, we have a problem. And it looks like we might have had some iRacing glitches here. As I mentioned at the top of the program, iRacing has had a few glitches since the new patch came out. It looks like Pace Car is going to duck in. Kevin Cormier is going to take the green flag with... And, okay, they're throwing the caution to get everybody sorted back out. So we'll have to wait a minute and let them get everything sorted out, get scoring sorted out. Tony Quadros currently showing on pit road. Kyle Buck and David Greenslet both showing one lap down. Does not look like anybody got disconnected. That was one problem we saw last night, was some random disconnects, but we've got a lot of cars now showing a lap down, and that number actually is increasing a little bit. According to scoring right now, there's only about 6 cars on the lead lap, so we're going to have to wait a minute and just see. The admins definitely have their hands full here tonight. Fortunately, these pace laps do not count. So we'll have to wait and see how they get everything sorted out here. I would not want to be one of the admins at this moment in time. They're definitely going to have their hands full. And they should restart single file, it looks like. So that'll definitely help to prevent any future problems. But Tony Quadros is coming back off pit road. Looks like Jeffrey Ramsdale is on pit road at the moment. I think a few of these cars actually got some damage there. Tony Quadros now off pit road. Looks like they are both being held. They're just avoiding getting a black flag there, but they are coming back out. Nathan Wenzel currently being scored in the lead. And only 5 cars on the lead, showing on the lead lap, so the admins are about to have a whole lot of work going on for them. Looks like you've got Nathan Wenzel, Kevin Kermier, Eric Steele, Brian Rogers, and Randy Phillips all on the lead lap. Everybody else is 1 lap down. And we're just kind of hoping at this point that everybody can make it through the race. We saw a couple incidents, and it's been a common thing for the last 24 plus hours, about 36 hours now, that random disconnects. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully nobody gets randomly disconnected, and they can go fight for this points battle. Remember, this is race number 9 in their season. Green flag is in the air, and it looks like they did not turn off the counting caution laps, so those laps actually counted under caution. Right now you got Nathan Wenzel being scored in the lead, but Randy Phillips at the front of the pack. And now scoring is going a bit crazy here. We'll see what happens here. Caution is out again. See if we can see what happened as they came around. Oh, it looks like the 12 car just hit the wall, and it piled up a bunch of cars behind him, and looked like the 07 of Ramsdale got stuck in that mess as well. This is not a good start to the night. Hopefully they can get everything figured out here in a moment. Definitely not the situation these guys wanted to have happen, especially cars like that 19 car. I mean, Randy Phillips has a 1-point lead over Tony Quadros. He needs a good run here tonight, but with a little luck, I mean, Tony Quadros could pick up that 1 point pretty easily tonight. So, you know, those two guys definitely do not want to be impacted by any of this. Eric Pomasco, we saw him being caught up in one. Nathan Wenzel and Eric Steele all right there together in points, and just a lot going on. Kind of waiting for scoring to update. You can see how it's gotten a little bit wonky there. Probably the best way to put that. Because now we're showing Randy Phillips 5 laps down. We we might have to get one of the producers in here to do the anarchy thing from Talladega Nights before this one's all said and done. Trying to look through the updates, and they're lined up too wide. I do believe we're going to go green flag racing, and I have no idea what is going on with the scoring at this point in time. But the pace car's in, and Randy Phillips looks like he's going to lead him around. I know it showed Cam Curtis. I believe Cam is on pit road now, so here in a couple of laps, Cam Curtis should come back out and be on the lead lap. We'll see how that plays out. Right now, though, it is Randy Phillips at the front of the field. He's got Nathan Wenzel, Kevin Cormier, and Thomas Johnson right behind him. Thomas Johnson, we've seen him the last couple of weeks. He started making a bit of a comeback, and here he is tonight running in the top 5. So we'll have to see how this plays out for him tonight, but definitely seeing some really good runs recently from Thomas Johnson. Right behind him, you've got the 64 of Jason Pelkey. Jason Pelkey currently in sixth place in points, running 6th on track right now. Just take a quick look at the points. It looks like, however, as they run right now, he is several positions in front of Eric Steele, and he would make up quite a few points on Eric tonight. I think he would actually take 5th if they finish now. So definitely a good points night for a few of these guys. It looks like we're getting a lot of the scoring squared away at this point. We're showing 17 cars now on the lead lap, 3 cars on pit road: Cam Curtis, Dana Shepard, and Braden Moyer. And James Seagroves DeCourcy, Kyle Buck, and David Greenslit all being shown several laps down. Thomas Johnson, talked about him a minute ago. He has been, he's had every conceivable thing happen this season and still managing to run 10th in points right now. Only 8 points behind Paul McCovery. And the way Thomas is driving tonight, I think he's on a mission to beat that 87 car. That 87 of Paul McCovery back in 10th right now. I'm sorry, he's back in 12th right now. There's Paul. So there's a couple of guys in great positions right now. Eric Steele is actually going backwards at the moment in the 32 car there right in front of him. He is currently running in 11th after starting 6th. And there is Mr. Eric Steele in the 32 car. And another interesting note, something else we saw last night, the new damage model in these cars. They are a bit more violent, would be the way to put it. We saw a lot of crashes that ended with a wheel coming off. Hopefully none of these guys run into that problem tonight and lose any positions, but they have upgraded. They continue to upgrade the damage model, so if they get hit just right, that wheel will come off. And that inside bump could play in the corners, could play into that just a little bit. Or if they hit that outside wall hard enough. Going from front to back, you've got Randy Phillips in first. Nathan Wenzel is currently second. Then you got Kevin Cormier. Thomas Johnson currently running in 4th after starting in 7th. He is making his way up. Jason Pelkey back there in 5th. Daniel Sweeney in the 31. Haven't talked about him quite yet, but he started in 9th. He's up to 6th right now. Then you got right behind him, Drew Davis started in 11th, and he is now up to, as we're back under caution. And looks like Jeffrey Ramsdell was involved. looks like he clipped the apron just a little bit there. Managed no significant damage, but that's going to put him way in the back. And this might be an opportunity to fix some of the position problems that they've had so far tonight. We'll see how everything plays out. Currently, it is still Randy Phillips up front, Kevin Cormier in second, Thomas Johnson now being scored in third, so he's picked up another position. Jason Pelkey is being shown in fifth. I guess somebody was out of position. It looks like Jeffrey Ramsdale might be out of position, but he'll move up, or he'll pit, and now it'll be Randy Phillips, Kevin Cormier, Thomas Johnson, Jason Pelkey, and Dan Sweeney round out your top five. Then you've got, let's see here, Dan Sweeney, Drew Davis, Ryan Courier, and Eric Laurendeau, Kyle Streeter, and Paul McCovery round out your top 10. Then you got Eric Pomasco, Dean Webb, Tony Quadros, second in points, back in 11th right now. And we'll go through the rest of it as they go green flag racing. I'm not sure what's happening under caution tonight, but as you probably can tell, the scoring is going a bit wonky here tonight. Pace car is in, green flag is in the air, lap 19. And the 14 car jumps to the outside almost immediately. Kevin Cormier trying to get a good jump to the lead, but we are under caution, and I have no idea what just happened. We will... And it looked like iRacing might have locked up. Give us just a moment. Alright, it looks like I actually caught the iRacing glitch this time, but we're getting back in as quickly as possible. Give us just a moment. Hopefully it is just me being impacted by this. Last night, though, we did see where when this glitch occurred, it took anywhere from 4 to 6 cars out of the field at a time. I'm just looking as we try and load back in, and I'm not seeing any names glaringly missing. So we'll see here in just a moment. As I said, we're getting loaded back in very quickly. All right, we will be back on watching them on track here in just a moment. Hopefully we didn't miss too terribly much, but yeah. As I mentioned, we saw it several times last night where people were getting, and we've heard reports of people getting kicked out of official sessions, getting kicked out of races, can't get into races, and all sorts of other craziness. And obviously the bug has bit us a couple of times tonight. Hopefully that's it for us for tonight, but we'll see how things play out. We do have 2 more races to go tonight, so hopefully you guys can stick around. We are back in the session. Looks like they are under caution. And just a quick check here to see. Okay, DeCourcy's still in at least in, and Braden Moyer still in. It looks like we've got several cars, several laps down, but most of the lead pack is there, so we'll have to wait and see. Pace car is in, lap 19, green flag is in the air. And Randy Phillips is still up at the lead. Kevin Cormier still there to the outside. And Thomas Johnson starting to make some moves, trying to get up there and take the lead. We saw him win his heat, and hopefully he can get back up there and win again tonight. He hasn't had a win yet this season. Randy Phillips has had a couple, so we'll see if Thomas Johnson can get up there and get her done. At the back of the field, just looking through here, Ryan Courier. There's Ryan in the 3 car. He started way back in 17th. He has made his way up to 7th. Kyle Streeter started 21st. He is now up to 8th in that 37 car. Eric Laurendeau back in 9th, and Eric Steele back in 10th right now. Jeffrey Ramsdale starting to make a bit of a comeback there. He got bumped way to the back early on and had an issue in his heat, but he is making his way up. He is up to 12th now. Meanwhile, up at the front, Dan Sweeney has made his way up to 3rd place, bumping Thomas Johnson back to 4th place. Kyle Streeter continues his charge to the front as well. Kyle Streeter now up to 5th. Drew Davis right behind him up to 6th. And I do believe we're going to have a caution. It looked like there was an incident in turns 1 and 2. No, it looked like they all got straightened out and kept going. Looked like there was just a bunch of cars really checked up. Meanwhile, back here we've got quite a battle going on. This is about 6th through 11th here. You've got Jason Pelkey in the 64, Ryan Courier in the 3, Eric Laurendeau in the 9, and the 10 of the 07 of Jeffrey Ramsdale back there. He is in 10th, but it looks like he might be about to claim 9th spot. He is running extremely fast on the outside, and we mentioned in pre-race that, hey, you know, once you get this track warmed up, that high side can make some moves, and Jeffrey Ramsdale is proving that right now. Randy Phillips continues to lead. Kevin Cormier right on his back bumper. Then you got the 31 of Dan Sweeney back there, and Thomas Johnson still up in 4th. Kyle Streeter is on a mission, though. He is charging to the front. Kyle Streeter's picked up 16 positions. He's only about 1.6 seconds behind Thomas Johnson. So he is not that far back, and Thomas Johnson not that far back out of the lead as well. But these leaders, they just continue to check out. They've got to have some of the fastest lap times on the track. Let's take a quick look. Randy Phillips. Looks like they're alternating who is faster. It looks like Randy has the, or I'm sorry, Kevin Cormier has the even number laps. Phillips has the odd number laps. So, but they are alternating who is fastest, and it's going to come down to a question of which one has saved the most for the end of the race. They're just about halfway now. About 2 more laps to halfway. Paul McCovery crashed in turn 3. Let's see if we can see what happened. There is the 87 of Paul McCovery. Comes out of turn 2. It looked like he tapped the wall just a little bit and got a little too low in there with a car underneath him and spun to the outside. And I could be wrong, but I think I just saw Thomas Johnson is on pit road. Let's see if we can find. Thomas Johnson been up there in the top 5 all night long so far, but do believe I saw him on pit road trying to find. There he is. He was smoking when he came in. I thought might have been another car. He is there right now getting a little bit of repairs, and hopefully he'll be back out on track and can get back up there with these guys. He definitely had a fast car tonight. He just blew up due to the damage from all the glitches. Sorry to hear that, Thomas. That is a rough night. Even the broadcaster's been impacted by glitches tonight. So it is definitely a rough week in iRacing. Currently 10th in points. Paul McCovery was 9th in points, and he was in the wall. So he may not, Thomas, you may not lose a whole lot. Let's hope you don't. We'll keep an eye on the scoring as you can see, the glitches are definitely messing with the scoring, and we'll have to keep the scoring up to date once they go green flag racing. Right now, just eyeballing it, it looks like Randy Phillips, Kevin Cormier, Daniel Sweeney, and I do believe that is Kyle Streeter to the outside. Green flag is in the air. And Randy Phillips does not get a good start, but the 14 does. Kevin Cormier got a really good jump there on the outside this time by, and we'll see if he can make something and work with it. Just at the halfway point, the 14 can't get out there and complete the deal right now, and now he's going to have Daniel Sweeney in the 31 to the inside. And I know it says 12 on his car, but that is the 31 of Daniel Sweeney there. Right behind him, we have the 37 of Kyle Streeter. And Kyle's been on a charge. Started in 21st, now up to 4th. If he gets by these two in front of him, I think that leader might have a bit of a handful once Streeter gets up there. 35 laps to go. Looks like Randy Phillips, he is definitely checking out a bit. Daniel Sweeney is now up to 2nd. Kyle Streeter has moved up to 3rd. Take a look at some of their lap times as they come by. I do believe that 37 car might be the fastest one on the track right now, but he's got the 64 Jason Pelkey to contend with right behind him now. Kevin Cormier, he has slipped all the way back to 5th place now. He was up there battling for the lead on the restart. 30 laps to go, and they are starting to close back up together. This group right behind is definitely closing up on each other, and we're going to see quite a bit of battling back here in a few moments, but will they be able to close the gap on Randy Phillips is a question. Randy Phillips is already off in another zip code. The 07 Jeffrey Ramsdale has made his way up to 9th now. Nathan Wenzel has slipped back to 8th, and Eric Laurendeau has slipped back to 7th place. And of course, some of these guys, were impacted by the glitches earlier in the race, and we'll just have to see how things play out. I imagine the admins will have their hands full after this race tonight, but you got to give those guys a big shout out. They do a great job trying to keep it fair and keep everybody out there trying to do the right thing. As the 64 now looking to the inside of the 37. Gets right on the back bumper, checks up a little bit. The 14 gets into the back of him. He manages to recover, but now the 3 car is going by. Ryan Courier hopped right on that opportunity. And it is now the 3 car of Ryan Courier up to 4th place. He's up from 17th place starting position. Kyle Streeter up from 21st starting position. So we've got a couple of cars that are going to be contenders here at the end of the race if they can close back down. Caution is out, and it looks like Jeffrey Ramsdale involved again. The 07 was down there to the inside. Looks like the 17 got into him a little bit and then got him again, turned him around there, couldn't get recovered. And good job by everybody behind him avoiding that. And that's going to put the 07 at the back of the field, I do believe. That's also going to really help the 37 of Kyle Streeter and the 64, or I'm sorry, the 37 and the 3. That's going to put them on the second row. They're going to be right behind the lead row, and Kyle Streeter is going to have a shot at Randy Phillips. Just checking over my notes, and it looks like you got Randy Phillips first in points. He is currently leading the field. Tony Quadros second in points, as is now back to 14th. He is going to lose quite a few positions. Eric Pamasco up into I believe 12th, so he's going to pick up a few points on Tony Quadros. It may not be enough going into next week. We'll have to wait and see. Nathan Wenzel, he is up in 6th. He's going to gain a lot of positions on Pamasco tonight as well. Eric Steele, as they go green, Eric Steele, I do believe, is going to pick up a few points tonight as well. And surprisingly, the 37 of Kyle Streeter does not get a real good start. He is now mired back in third place again, and he's got the 3 car to the outside. Ryan Courier is going for it on the outside. Looks like the 64 is trying to make a move to the outside as well. That is Jason Pelkey, the other car up there on the outside. He's got one right in front of him that's using the whole track. That's the 46 of Eric Laurendeau, trying to get everything he can all the way around this track. Eric currently running in 6th place on the track with 19 laps to go. Eric Laurendeau 8th in points. He's going to gain a little bit. Oh, we've got a big one into turn 1, bringing out another caution. Well, let's see what happened. I do believe Ryan Courier was involved in this in the 3 car. Yeah, it started with him, and he collected the 46. The 64 sneaks by. Most everybody sneaks by, but that's a tough hit for the 3 car after being up at the front and challenging to get up to the lead. Randy Phillips does not want to see these cautions right now. Every time they restart, he continues to run away. The only car that can keep up with him is the 31 car behind him of Daniel Sweeney. Dan, Tommy, there was some there's some iRacing glitches tonight, and unfortunately one of them bit Thomas, and his engine ended up blowing while he was running in the top 5. So definitely a rough night for Thomas. We've had a few others that have been taken out, and just a lot of problems with the most recent update from iRacing. But gotta say, iRacing puts out a great product, and I can tell you from personal experience, they tested it as much as they possibly could. You do as much load testing as you can, but nothing compares to real world load testing, and unfortunately that's been a problem the last couple of days. Once a full load was put back on the systems, glitches will always start to appear, and unfortunately there's been some rough ones. I'm just glad to see that everybody has still managed to stay in the race. Last night we saw a glitch where 4 to 5 cars were knocked out of the XCal race at a time on 2 different occasions. So almost went to a red flag situation in iRacing last night. That's how rough last night was going. So things are smoothing out. Looks like they're going to update and put out a hot fix tomorrow morning, and hopefully some of these things will be gone. Next week, the championship race, Thomas Johnson might still be in the top 10 in points, and hopefully one of the fan favorites can get up there and get a good points finish next week. Maybe even go for the win next week. Pace car is in. We're going to have 18 laps to go when Randy crosses the start-finish line. Here he goes. Off into turn 1 and 2. The 03 gets a little wiggly there. Nathan Wenzel was pushing extremely hard coming down the going down through 1 and 2, but he manages to get it straightened up. They're 3 wide right behind him, and it looks like the 03 has got some problems. He is struggling with the handling right now. He is stuck up on the outside, gets a little bump from the 32. Everybody gets by cleanly. We'll see if he comes to pit road. Looks like he might have had some damage when he got together with the 3 a moment ago. He stays out on track. Looks like he is really loose up off the turns, though. Randy Phillips continues to lead up front, but Dan Sweeney starting to look to the outside. He looked outside too long. Here comes the 37 of Kyle Streeter. Kyle Streeter now to the inside, going for second place. 15 laps to go. We'll see if he can get up there and do anything with that 19 car. That 31 there on the outside, he is not giving an inch. The 37 looks like he's going to clear him this time by, and the 31 might get stuck. No, he got into the left rear quarter panel, spun him. The 471, Eric Pomasco's caught. The 07's caught. Tony Quadros is involved, and you can see the damage. There is a wheel going off down by, there's 2 wheels off 2 separate cars. Let's try and take another look at that. You can see they just get together, and that puts them up there. I do believe one of those wheels came off of Tony Quadros. That is at least an 8-minute repair. You see one rolling past pit road there. You see one rolling up in turns 1 and 2, and I am sorry I have to do this, but you know what Quadros is saying right now. You picked a fine time to leave me, loose wheel. All right, I won't do that again. Meanwhile, Randy Phillips and Kevin Cormier are still up front. Drew Davis picks up several positions in that, as does Eric Pomasco. Let's take a closer look at Pomasco, though. Yeah, he's got heavy damage to the right front of his car, and it looks like Ramsdale managed to get through just fine. Doesn't look like he has very heavy damage. He was right in the middle of that. Several of these cars, though, are now on pit road. We'll have to see if any of them can get back out, although it'll be unlikely, at least for Tony Quadros, to get back out. That definitely changes the points just a little bit. Tony Quadros currently on pit road for repairs. Third place, Eric Pomasco, now up to 6th. Third place in points, Eric Pomasco now up to 6th on the track. Nathan Wenzel, he is now back to 7th place, but he is currently 4th in points. Eric Steele, who's 5th in points, is now up to about 8th place. So a lot of these guys at the front, they're going to stand to pick up at least 1 or 2 positions here in the points tonight. Thomas Johnson got a 49-minute repair. So I'd imagine some of these other guys are going to have something very, very similar as the pace car ducks off. 12 laps to go. Oh, looks like we've only got about 8 cars on the lead lap right now on the track. Tony Quadros is still going. He is going to fight back and get every position he can. He's not out of this thing yet. Randy Phillips gets a bit. The 22 got a little squirrely there. Drew Davis had a little excitement coming off turn 4. A little squirrely coming down the front straightaway. We saw that happen with the 03 on the last restart. Let's see if he can keep it straight this time around. He does. He's got it settled back in a little bit there. And the positions shook up quite a bit on this last incident. Randy Phillips up front, Kevin Cormier, Drew Davis, Eric Pomasco, Nathan Wenzel, Jeffrey Ramsdale up to 6th, Eric Steele 7th. Dean Webb, haven't talked about him much tonight in the 17. He was involved in one of the earlier accidents. He is still out there. He is picking up positions and now up to 8th. And I do believe Kyle Streeter might be back out on the track. No, he is not yet. The 22 still struggling around the track. He has either got some serious damage or he is pushing that thing for everything it is worth, trying to close down on these 2 leaders. Right behind him, Eric Pomasco in the 471 trying to get by and take 4th place there, but Wenzel to the inside trying to hold on to 4th, and here comes Jeff Ramsdale in the 07 car. Oh! Almost had a collision there. Everybody manages to keep him straight, but there's definitely some handling issues here tonight. And I think this new damage model, even if you get a little bit of a nick, you're going to have some problems. And I think the only car that's not been affected by damage right now is the leader, the number 19. I think everybody else at this point has been involved in something. 19 starting to open up his lead just a little bit. Kevin Cormier is 2nd. And the 22 of Drew Davis is actually closing down on 2nd place right now. Meanwhile, the pack right behind him, Nathan Wenzel in the 03, Eric Pomasco. And they are all getting squirrely down the back straightaway as the 32 of Eric Steele picks up a position from Jeff Ramsdale. Still up front is Randy Phillips. There's some lap traffic ahead, but on the final lap, he's not going to have to contend with it. Led almost every lap tonight, except during the glitch period. Here he comes around to win again here tonight. Randy Phillips, point leader, opens up his lead probably substantially here tonight. Finishes first. Kevin Cormier comes home second. Drew Davis comes home third. Nathan Wenzel is fourth. Eric Pomasco is fifth. Eric Steele is sixth. Jeffrey Ramsdale seventh. Dean Webb is eighth. Tony Quadros manages to recover for a ninth place finish. 10th place Jason Pelkey. Then Kyle Streeter, Daniel Sweeney, Dana Shepard, Eric Laurendeau, Ryan Courier, Paul McCovery, Thomas Johnson, Brian Rogers Jr., Cam Curtis, Braden Morier, and James Seagroves DeCourcy, with Kyle Buck and David Greenslet round out the field. And what a rough night. These guys, got to give a shout out to the 19 and to everybody that stuck it out. There's a lot of cars that are on pit road or out of the race right now. Rough night for a lot of these folks, but great finish, great win by the 19 car. He's going to extend his lead as you watch the top three celebrate. Now, stick around for just a few minutes because we're going to switch over and we're going to go watch some SR8s at the Monza Oval here in about 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere as we get ready to go do some more racing at the Monza Oval. It'll be a double header. The first race will be turning left and the second race will be turning right around the legendary 3.6 mile track. And I promise you, as bumpy, banked, and different as that track is, you're going to see some epic racing. And yeah, it's going to be flat out amazing. So definitely stick around, watch that. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes.